Hello lovely viewers, welcome to Pamo12 official YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn something about algebraic expression. Now today's lesson we are just going to look at the introduction to algebraic expression, some terminologies in algebraic expression, and then how to simplify algebraic expression. Now, without wasting much time, let us dive into it. Now, when we talk of algebraic expression, what is it? And simply put, any mathematical expression which involve letters or variables in them. Any mathematical expressions which involve letters or variables or symbols in them are known as algebraic expression. What do I mean by mathematical expression which involve letters or variables? Let me make a little illustration over here. Now, if I have, let's say I have, let's say 3x plus 4y. Now this mathematical expression is what we say an algebraic or algebraic expression. Why are we saying it is an algebraic expression? This is because it has letters which are represented here, and these letters can be any number. If we are dealing with equations, we are not dealing with equations, so let us just consider these letters as normal letters. So any mathematical expression which involve letters in them are known as algebraic expression. When I have this same expression put in this way, say 3 plus 4. Now this second expression here is also a mathematical expression, but it does not involve letters in them. Neither does it involve symbols in them. And so for that matter, this expression is not an algebraic expression, and there is a name to it. They are called arithmetic. Alright, so another definition for algebraic expression is they are expression or any mathematical expression which uses symbols as numbers. Alright, so a typical example of mathematical symbols are, let me just make an illustration for you to see what I mean over here. When we talk of symbol, we have a symbol like pi, we have a symbol like theta, we have a symbol, so many of them. We can have a symbol of alpha, we have a symbol of beta, and etc. Alright, so anytime you find such symbols or letters that is simply alphabet in any mathematical expression, then those expressions are referred as algebraic expression. Alright, so that is the little introduction to algebraic expression. Let us continue on with the terminologies. Now, let us look at some terminologies in algebra. In other terms, some unique terms that are dealt in algebraic expression. The first we are going to talk about is terms. Now, when we talk of terms in algebraic expression, what does it mean? Or when we talk of term in mathematics, what does it mean? Now, we are saying that terms are mathematical symbols, or the mathematical letters, or mathematical numbers, or it can be a combination of these numbers, letters, or symbols, which are being separated by addition or subtraction sign. So we are saying that terms are any mathematical symbols, letters, numbers, or combination of these two symbols or letters which are separated by addition sign or a subtraction sign. Alright, so to talk much on this, let us take example as usual. So if I have, say, 3x, just as I used earlier, plus say 4y. Okay, so we are saying that a term is any mathematical symbol, mathematical letter, or mathematical number, or a combination of a letter and number, a letter and symbol, or whatever, which are being separated by addition sign or a subtraction sign. So I can equally write this as 3x minus 4y. I can equally write this as 3x minus 4y. Alright, so if I write this as 3x minus 4y, then I can say that this is a term on its own. This is also another term on its own. Why am I saying so? Per our definition, we said a term is any letter, any symbol, any number, or a combination of a number and letter, a combination of number and symbol, which are being splitted or separated by an addition sign or a subtraction sign. So if I should ask how many terms are present in this particular expression, yes, I can boldly say that there are 2 terms. Please, there are not 4. Someone would misquote or would deliberately say that there are 4 terms. Why? Because there is 3 here, there is x here, there is 4, and there is y here. No, it doesn't work like that. 3x is seen as a single term. 4y is also seen as a single term. Here too there are 2 terms. The only difference between this and this is the sign. Here there is a negative sign, there is a positive sign here. So we can talk of 3x and minus 4y, which are the different terms over here. Alright, so that is the little explanation to terms. Let us also look at another terminology here, which is called an expression. Alright, an expression is a group of terms which are brought together. Expression is a group of terms which are being brought together. Okay, so let us look at this. When I bring 3x plus 4y, there are 2 different terms and they are brought together. So we can call this as an expression, specifically algebraic expression, because there are letters. I believe you are now getting the scenario now. This is also called an expression because there is a term, there is another term which are brought together. So there are an expression. So I can say that an expression is any mathematical terms, or is a group of mathematical terms. That is all. Expression is a group of mathematical terms. I believe we are getting the mathematical languages now. Alright, so let us continue with the next term. Alright, the next term we are going to talk about is variables. Now when we talk of variables in mathematics, what does it mean? And then the last term we are going to look at is coefficients. So I'm going to explain the variables and the coefficients at the same time using the same example I have written over there. Now when we talk of variables, we are saying that variables are the letters or the symbols. Here I'm saying a letter or a symbol. So it can be a letter or any symbol. It can be pi, it can be sigma, it can be alpha, or it can be beta, depending on the symbol we are using according to the question given or according to the problem solving. And the letter like alphabet, any alphabet at all. Alright, so we are saying that variables are the letters or symbols that are used in a particular term or expression. Okay, so if I see x, y, z in any mathematical expression, I don't mention them as alphabet, but they are called variables in mathematics. Alright, so when I have this 3x plus 4y, you don't say x and y are, yes, they are alphabet though, but when it comes to mathematics, their name is known as variables. So x is a variable here, y is also a variable. Then we also have coefficients. Now coefficients are simply the numbers that are multiplying a variable. In actual terms, they are the numbers which are attached to a variable. Alright, so looking at this expression, variable x has a coefficient of 3. variable y has a coefficient of 4. Why are we saying so? X is the number which is multiplying, 3 is the number which is attached to the letter x or variable x. In actual sense, 3 is the number which is multiplying variable x. 4 is the number which is attached to variable y. So the coefficient of x and y are 3 and 4 respectively. Then let us also look at this. The coefficient of x is still 3. The coefficient of y here is negative 4. I believe you are wondering why it is negative 4. Yeah, this minus sign here is affecting this 4 here. So this 4 is no more 4, but it is a negative 4. So you cannot go by saying the coefficient of y is 4 without bringing the negative sign here. So simply put, the negative sign which is brought attached to any variable is affecting the coefficient of that variable. Understand this, and simplification of algebra will be very easy. Okay, so these are the little terminologies, or the terminologies that we have in algebraic expression. Now let us move on to the next term. Let us move on to the next aspect of what we are to do, or what we should understand before we can solve for any questions related to algebra or algebraic expression. They are very, very easy. I can tell you they are very easy. Okay, so now let's move on. Now let us look at how we can simplify algebraic expression. In simplifying algebraic expression, we have grouped them into 3. In fact, there are 4 of them, but 2 of them have the same nature, or the same way of expressing them or solving them. So I can categorize them into 3. Alright. Now, algebraic expression are simplified based on the sign they carry. Algebraic expression are simplified based on the sign they carry. So he said in simplifying algebraic expression, we consider the sign connecting the terms in the expression. Now we all know that mathematics has 4 fundamental sign, which is the addition sign, the subtraction sign, the multiplication sign, and the division sign. The addition sign is popularly known as the plus. The subtraction is popularly known as the minus. And multiplication is a continuous addition. Division is a continuous subtraction. So, let us look at the first aspect of simplification of algebra. Now today we will just look at the addition and subtraction of algebra, and then end the video, and then we shall continue the next time with the multiplication and division. Now in addition and subtraction of algebra, I said they have a similar way. In fact, the same method used in addition of algebra is the same way. In fact, we can also have a question which involves both addition and subtraction as one question. And the way of solving in addition is the same as solving in subtraction. Just that we should understand these steps. Now, in adding or subtracting algebra, one must consider the following terms or the following factors. 1, we should first know the terms which are like. When we talk of like terms are simply variables which are the same and have the same degree of power, or the same power. For example, if I have x plus x squared plus y squared. Alright, so if I have these variables in a particular expression, and I am asked to add these variables, the first thing that should come into my mind is I have to look at these variables. Do I have a like terms? Now, what did I say like terms are? Like terms are variables of the same kind with the same degree of power. So here there are two terms we should consider to understand what like terms are. Variables of the same kind. Yes, I have x and x, they are of the same kind. I have y and y, they are of the same kind. The next condition that suits a variable to be like terms are should have the same degree of power. Now let me compare the power. When you talk of power, that's this number which is written as a superscript to any variable or number. So this 2 here is written as a superscript to power variable x. So it means 2 is a power. Another name we can also refer or we can give to a power is an exponent or an index. Okay, so x over here has a power of 1. We don't write it. X here has a power of 2. So the degree of power between this and this are not the same. For that matter, we cannot call these two terms as like terms, though they have the same degree of power, but now they have the same variable, or they are variable of the same kind, but they are of different degree of power. So for that matter, we cannot add these variables. Same thing applies to this. Here y and y are the same, but they have different degree of power, and for that matter we cannot add them. So anytime you are adding or subtracting algebraic expression, you first have to consider the variables, whether they are like terms or they are not. When they are like terms, then you move ahead. When they are not like terms, you just leave it as it is. The second term is you consider the sign connecting the terms here, whether they are plus or minus. You also consider. Some people usually make mistakes by changing the sign when, okay, let's forget, we will look at how we are to group those variables. Now we also consider the sign which is attached to the variables, whether they carry a positive sign or a negative sign. So when they carry a positive sign, it means we are to add them. When they carry a negative sign, we are to subtract them. And the next one is arrangement of terms. Okay, how do we arrange terms? Now when you are arranging the terms, since we've now seen how the sign connecting to them, when we are arranging them, algebraic expression does not necessarily means moving a term should change its sign. For example, if I have this expression, let's say 2x plus 3y minus x minus 2y. I am asked to simplify this. Alright, so the first thing I have to first consider is what? My like terms, or terms which are like, and I can first see that x and x are like terms. They have the same degree of power, so I have to group them. Now grouping them at one side, I will consider the sign attached to this x. Now moving it will not change the sign to a positive sign. It will still remain as a negative sign. Please, let's take note of that, because most students usually change the sign because they are arranging it and moving it from this place to join its brother here. So they decide to change the sign. Please, it is not like that. It only changes when there is an equal sign, and we will look at that when we get to algebraic equation. Now we are looking at algebraic expression. Alright, so grouping this, I will still have to write my 2x, and then this one, which is a brother to this 2x, has to come here as minus because it has a negative sign. So I said you consider the sign. Then you now arrange the other brothers, which is the y. So 3y, and then the sign over here, which is also minus, 3y minus 2y. Alright, so that is the grouping of the like terms I was talking about. Alright, and the next thing we have to look at is the coefficients of each term. We've already known what coefficients are. So after I have grouped them, okay, let me explain some small thing over here. Now, anytime there is a variable without a coefficient, it means that variable has a coefficient of 1. So for that matter, let us look at this question. What this means is that x over here has a coefficient of 1, but it is not written. I hope it is okay. Right, so if you see any variable without a coefficient, don't assume that variable to be 0. If it is 0, it will be stated. But if it is not written, it means it has a coefficient of 1. And for that matter, we have to deal with that. So that is the little thing I want to just add up to what I am just doing. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue from where I ended. Now the next thing is to let's look at the steps. So just as I said earlier, you look at the terms, the variables involved in the terms, and then you check the like terms in the given expression. You group all like terms at one side. So I said note, sign of a term does not change in grouping of them or in grouping. So that's what I just explained over there. Then the next step is you add or subtract the coefficients of the like terms. So you add or subtract. Here I made mention of add or subtract. It depends on how the question is given. When the question demands you to add them, you just add. When the question demands you to subtract, you subtract. And then the next thing is to what you write the simplified answer and the variable which are alike. Not B. The coefficient does not affect the like terms. Alright, so some people will also think that because this is 2 and this is 1, so they are not like terms. Please, like terms do not matter with the coefficient, or coefficient is not a factor to a like term. The only factor to a like term is what? The variable and the degree of power, and not the number multiplying the variable. I hope I make myself clear here. Alright, so let us simplify this question and some other questions, and then we end the section. So just as we said, the first step is saying that we group the like terms which are identified already. So the like terms are 2x minus x. I have positive 3y minus 2y. So you can see that I did not change any letter, neither did I change any sign. It was the negative x which is also brought as negative x. I didn't make it a positive x whilst it was coming to take the position of the 3y. No, it is negative, so if I am moving it, it has to go with it negative. This is positive. If it is moving from where it is, it has to go with it positive. I hope I've made myself clear. Now the next step is what? You simplify by adding or subtracting the coefficient. Alright, so what this means is that, what is the coefficient here? The coefficient here is 2. So in simple case, you can open a bracket, then you write the coefficient over here. And what is the coefficient here? The coefficient here is negative 1. Then you close the bracket in the name of variable x. Alright, then I bring this positive sign over here. What's the coefficient here? The coefficient of the y over here is 3. Then I have a negative 2. and the name of variable y. Alright, so that's very simple. Now what do we have here? 2 minus 1 will give me 1. So I have 1 with a variable of x. Then plus 2 minus 3 minus 2 will also give me 1. So 1 with a variable of y. So it means my final answer into this particular question is going to give me 1x plus 1y. Remember, I told you that anytime there is a coefficient of 1 to a variable, we don't write it. So we can further or finally write this as x plus y, and that is all. So it means the overall solution to this particular expression is x plus y. It's very, very simple, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Let us take another question. I want us to use different variables to see. So let me just take an example as, say, 3a plus 5a squared minus 10a plus 2a squared. All right, very, very simple. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this question. Now the steps still holds. The steps is saying that first identify the variables which are like terms, and we have explained what variables which are like terms are. So if I look at this, a and then a squared are not alike, because though they have the same term but different degree of power, so they are not like terms. So I will say a, another a is here, so they are like terms, so I will group them. Note, grouping them does not change the sign, so let me group them. I will have to group it as 3a minus 10a. So I've grouped the variables which are like terms. Do I have another variables which are the same? Yes, a squared and then a squared. So I also have to group them. So I have to have positive, it is positive 5a, positive 5a squared, and positive, so plus 2a squared. Now the next step is simplify the coefficient. So what is the coefficient over here? 3 minus 10. So what this means is that I have 3 cedis, but I'm owing an amount of 10 cedis. So even if I pay the 3 cedis, I will still owe an amount of 7 cedis. So anytime you owe, the sign is negative. So I will still have negative 7a. I have 5, I have 2. When I add them, I'm going to have plus 5 plus 2 will give me 7a squared. So a proper arrangement to this expression, I can decide to write it as 7a squared minus the 7a. But this is also correct. Do not think that I have written this so you are wrong. No, when you get your answer and then you arrive at it, or you decide to end it here, it's the same. But I just wanted the positive to be shown first for the negative. This is the same thing as this. I hope you understand it. Now we've not gotten to anywhere, so we are not going to do anything to this. When we get to factorization, then you will see that we can do something to this, but we are taking it a step by step. Hello viewers, I wish to end the video here, and then If there is any question, you can just write it at the comment section. I will read and then reply or give you a feedback. Please, you have to like this video, share. If you have not subscribed to this channel too, please try and then subscribe to the channel, because I'll be teaching the foundation in mathematics, the very mathematics that you are facing problem with. I'm here to sort it out with you, to make mathematics very easy for you. Bye bye.